Hey guys, Red Panda Mining here. Hope you're doing well. Having a really great day this video. All right. I don't know. I don't know what to say regarding these miners that I have sitting on the floor. None of them are profitable at this point in time at my electrical rate of about 5 cents. And I'm just going to talk about them. All right. These are going to be some pretty heavy hitter ASIC miners that have come out over the past, I don't know, couple years, just recently. And, you know, I just want to talk about them and what I plan on doing with them. Okay. And actually, I'll talk about that right now. If anybody in Canada is interested in any of these miners wanting to trade for, I don't know, graphics cards preferably, let me know in the comments or email me, contact@redpandamining.com. You guys will see which miners I'm going to talk about throughout this video. All of these that are on the floor. Okay, so we'll talk about all these after today's sponsor. Enterprise AI is the biggest money story of the decade, and it's been closed to you until now. Terra Compute builds enterprise-grade dual EPYC GPU servers. After 3 years of R&D at their own data center, Terra Compute is now open for business. Hosted in their own data center at a former US military base in Indiana on a locked utility rate no marketplace can touch. You buy, we host, no monthly fees, we rent it to enterprise buyers who pay a premium, and you earn more than the regular platforms currently out there. If we don't rent it, we don't get paid. Write the whole purchase off with Section 179, and at the end of your contract, if you're not happy, we ship the server to your door. You own real hardware, real data center, fast deployment, real returns. Inquire through a special form link in the video description below. Terra Compute, infrastructure as a service. Okay, so I want to start off with this guy. I got two of these INI boxes, and actually one of them is not mine. It's for the gentleman who actually bought it off me when I first got it back in, I think it was December of 2025. And he pretty much broke even on it, and but I think he said he wants me to give it away. So we're gonna give these away. All right, let's give away one INI box in this video. So just comment down below your guys' story of any ASIC miners, not any of them that I have here, but any other miners that you guys have that have maybe break evened after a certain amount of time. Let me know the time frame. Let me know the dates. Let me know when you got it, you know, all that kind of stuff. Let me know which miner has been successful for you guys, okay? Let me know down in the comments, or let me know miners that have not been successful for you in terms of getting the initial investment back. I would love to know your guys' story. So comment down below. I'll choose the winner after about 2 days for this INI box, which unfortunately isn't profitable anymore, but maybe somebody can do something fun with this thing. So thank you, BC, for the giveaway of this INI box. It takes, I forgot how much power this takes, 500 watts, but yeah, it's got Ethernet, IP, reset button, whatever. It's for mining Initverse, which has crashed extremely hard, and actually that's probably a good segue into talking about the miners that have really failed over the past bit here, which is like the INI box. So I mean, anyone that got first batch have been able to get their money back, but anyone who bought maybe in January, or, you know, second batch, or, you know, midway through, or even near the end, you obviously haven't gotten your money back because INI has crashed so hard. So in terms of the, you know, this Initverse, very spec coin, which I recommended everyone not to buy, it has ultimately rug pulled. I think the market cap of Initverse is like $1 million or something crazy. Okay, something positive. I have an Antminer L3 Plus here. This thing has definitely been able to profit and also make a lot of money, depending on when you've been able to buy these things for maybe 50 bucks, all the way up until selling them for upwards to about $3,000. So I have a great example of back in 2021. Oh, damn fly. Back in 2021, the infamous Antminer L3 Plus, this thing was selling upwards to about $3,000 because this thing was making upwards to about, what, $20, $30, $50 a day at one point, because Dogecoin just went up to the moon and there wasn't a lot of script hardware out there at the time. So the L3 Plus was a heavy hitter during that time. And I vividly remember back in like 2018, 2019, during the bear market, these L3 pluses were selling for like under $100. So if you did like the arbitrage play of buying these, you know, L3 pluses when they were extremely cheap, you could have made a nice profit by buying them during the bear market and then selling them back in 2021 when Dogecoin pumped, and these were selling on eBay for like $3,000. Do any of you guys remember that? Those were great times. So that's one positive story to, I guess, talk about. A miner that has price appreciated and could very well happen to any other miners that I have here if, you know, the prices of those coins decide to go up, of course. God forbid, even Initverse could maybe go back up again. Who knows? Highly doubt it, though. Again, all these miners I talk about here, if you guys have any trades, you have to be in Canada because shipping these to the States, tariffs and customs and duties is just so bad right now, and shipping rates are just really bad because the gas prices are extremely high, so shipping is extremely expensive. Okay, let's talk about my Ethereum Classic miners. I got two Bombax EZ100Cs here and also a Antminer E11. So surprisingly, actually, at my electrical rate, it's actually still okay to mine with these. Like, they're still a little bit profitable, but I don't think I'm not gonna run these anymore because Ethereum Classic hasn't really done anything, especially in this previous bull market I guess we had. Not really, we didn't really have an altcoin season for proof of work projects, so Ethereum Classic didn't go up. So the Bombax miners, they've actually been positive for me. I don't know if I broke even on these at all, but they have been positive in terms of profitability, I guess, ever since I got them. Now, Ethereum Classic mining has been an outlier, I think, for most of the crypto mining community. I know there's been a lot of people who've been buying like Jazz miners, you know, smaller ETC hash miners out there, but I don't think anyone's been buying these, like the Antminer E11, Bombax miners. I don't think there's really many people out there that have been investing in Ethereum Classic miners. I mean, who would, right? For anyone that has cheap electric, these things probably would do really well for anyone that has cheaper electric. I mean, let me know down below, anybody with Ethereum Classic miners back in the day. I know Ethereum Classic pumped up to like, what, $137 at one point, and so that brought a lot of FOMO, right? A lot of people FOMO'd into buying ETC hash ASICs, big boy ones. I know there was a lot of rumor of Bitmain coming in, you know, coming out with a big boy Ethereum Classic miner that never came out. I know Jazz Miner came out with some X44, which never released, and so I think that whole thing died. But overall, I still think Ethereum Classic mining is kind of a sleeper. I do think in the next run-up, next Bitcoin bull run that we have, Ethereum Classic will probably have some price appreciation along with Ethereum. Unfortunately, I don't like Ethereum because they moved away from proof of work, obviously. But the real Ethereum is Ethereum Classic. So maybe, you know, these miners, the E11 and my Bombax miners here, could potentially come back one day. I don't know. Who knows? Okay, for everyone that's like watching this video midway through wondering why, Red Panda, why the heck do you have your miners on the floor here? Well, I'm getting ready to get back into GPUs. I'm doing AI. I'm doing, you know, compute workloads. I'm doing this type of stuff. So I got heavy hitter AI servers here. AI, quote unquote AI. I'm just renting out my GPUs. But, you know, dual Xeon Golds 6152 processors and all of them. And, you know, I can fit 10 GPUs in each server if I wanted to. And, but it's been... I'm gonna have another video. It's been quite a difficult thing because I have to acquire a lot of different parts, and my last thing I needed to get was cables, power cables, which thank you to Infinite Cables. They helped me just, you know, give me a little bit of a deal on a bunch of C13 power cables, sorry, C19, C20, and the main thing I had to wait for was PCIe cables, EPS cables for the gigabyte servers, so for the GPUs. So stay tuned. I'm gonna have a lot of POV videos still building out these servers, which are going to go onto the shelf right here, hence why my ASIC miners are on the floor. And Whether or not I can find an ASIC hoster in Canada, anyone that's watching, anyone that has ASIC hosting in Canada, please recommend me someone I can maybe send some of these. Let me know in the comments or email me, contact@redpandamining.com. I do have 2 Bitcoin miners that I am running, the Seal Miner A2 and the Canon Avalon A15 Pro. So these 2 miners, which are actually decently quiet, I'm solo mining Bitcoin on these 2 right now, and you guys are running Red Panda. Wait, I thought you were gonna put all AI servers here, and yes, I am temporarily, just to up my electrical demand, because when I turned off all my ASIC miners, I essentially turned off like 15, 16 kilowatt worth of power. So I do need to hit a certain amount of demand in order to, you know, stay at my commercial electric rate. So most of you guys probably understand that. But anyways, guys, let's go on to the next ASIC miner I got on the floor here. The Antminer, let's go with the negative one. Let's go with the IceRiver AL3, Alephium miner. Now this one's probably gonna trigger a lot of people. I mean, including myself and including everyone that's invested into Alephium miners. I mean, man, I remember when the first, was it the AL box from Gold Shell that came out? That thing was like, what, 10 grand or something? And man, some people bought into them and ultimately didn't get their money back. I was doing a test on one of them, and ultimately I rode that bag all the way down to 0. Essentially, I worth like a couple $100. I had like $4,000 worth on that Gold Shell AL box. Now it's like worth nothing. So should have sold it. And anyone who bought it, it's worthless essentially now. The AL3 though, there was a time when Alephium's price was kind of going back up again. But then when these released, there was so much sell pressure of the IceRiver AL3s because these were turning on. I can show on the chart here when they turned on. When they turned on, then there was so much sell pressure that Alephium just started to crash all the way down. So unfortunately, that really hurt, and profitability on the IceRiver AL3 only lasted like a month. Like, I turned mine off after a month. Like, this thing barely has any freaking dust on it. This thing is brand spanking new. IceRiver AL3, which now obviously doesn't make any money, right? It doesn't make sense to have this on. I think it's a negative right now. I haven't looked at profitability honestly, but I think it's in the negative for the IceRiver AL3. So this was a complete fail of an ASIC miner to invest in. I guess Alephium, there was a lot of positive things going on. Everyone hyped up Alephium being a great project, but unfortunately it didn't do anything among all the other projects that we talk about. But anyways, yeah, that's the Alephium miner that failed, and I ultimately I've had this off for a very long time. Okay, next one, and I have, I think, 3 more left here. I have a Antminer D9. Okay, so the Dash miner is very interesting. I actually don't know much history regarding Dash. I know it's had its pumps, its bull runs and bear markets, similar to a few other coins, maybe like Zcash. But Dash has been one of those coins where I think anybody that had reasonably or like under 5-6 cents electric, the D9 has been able to sustain, obviously at cheaper electric, depending on how much hardware's out there. So I've had my D9 for a while actually, and yeah, I've actually had many times when I've had it off, but more so recently, I did have it on because the whole privacy narrative thing started to come up and Dash started going up. Well, mainly because of Zcash. But yeah, the D9 was actually doing okay. I think during like maybe the bear markets, I could have yielded a lot of Dash. And if I did that, I mean, that goes with any ASIC miner actually, even like Dogecoin, you know, Ethereum Classic miners. Any ASIC miner, you can try and mine the yields, wait for the bull run. You'll normally do well. And like, I wish I had an L7 here, but I think I did the calculation. If I had an L7 solo mining or just mining into Dogecoin over the past couple years during the bear market, and then when Doge went up to 44 cents, I could have been like, that L7 would have made me like 100 grand just by itself. There was a calculation I did. I was like, man, that L7, before all the L9s and stuff came out, which I don't have any L9s here, I brought them to my other basement. But yeah, when the L9s, before the L9s came out, right, the network hash rate was much less, and so the yields were so much better on those L7s back in the day. But anyway, I'm drifting off course here. The D9, yeah, there's nothing else really to talk about, but the D9 has been okay sometimes, not all the time though. All right, I got two Bitmain Antminer KS5 Pros. Yes, these are the 21 terahash models they say on the sticker there. So I think these are the Pros. I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Anyway, so Kaspa mining, man. What a I don't think I want to really dive into Kaspa mining. There's a lot of history. As all of you know, I did get the first like IceRiver KS2. Like it was making like $1,200 a day at one point, something insane. And yeah, and the rest is history, honestly. But first batch people who got into Kaspa mining did well. Second batch was okay. Third batch, I think that's when it started to get really unprofitable. And it's just, Kaspa's been downhill ever since. So there's been a lot of Kaspa models that have come out. IceRiver, Bitmain, you know, there's just been this like marginal increase in efficiency, you know, massive increase in hash rate on these things. But these KS5s that I bought, I think back in August, they were like $1,000 or something. I don't think I've gotten my money back, and now they're in the negative at my electrical rate. Running these things. So yeah, the Antminer KS5 is out. Yeah, it's because of the market conditions. Honestly, just the market right now took a dump. Altcoins have taken a dump. All the altcoins, all the coins I've talked about in this video, all these miners associated have taken a dump. And except for, I guess, kind of Bitcoin has been a little bit more sustainable, but it's also kind of out as well. It's getting quite competitive now. Hardware, the hash rate has essentially kept up, and a lot of people have turned on and bought hardware, and so it's a lot more competitive now to mine Bitcoin. But yeah, okay, so that's Kaspa mining. I don't really, yeah, there's more to it with Kaspa mining. I could probably, you know, make a whole video about Kaspa mining and, you know, what has transpired over the past year. But ultimately, Kaspa's price hasn't appreciated, and so there's a lot of hardware. There was just too much Kaspa mining hardware out there that have turned on, and just it got way too competitive, and there's just, the difficulty was too high. The emission schedule every month, as you all know, goes down like 5% or something like that. And yeah, so it's just all the negative things. Also the price, it wasn't able to sustain for the miners that's all out there mining Kaspa, unfortunately. Okay, and then finally I have a Antminer S19K Pro. Okay, so again, another thing, I could make its own video, but the S19K Pro came out a couple years ago, and there's obviously been a lot of newer hardware that's come out for mining Bitcoin. So yeah, there's a lot. The efficiency on an S19K Pro is like what, 22, 25? Is it watt per hash? I don't remember. 22, but we're all the way in sub like 14, 13 watt per hash now, or joules per terahash. And even my, you know, my SealMiner A2, my Canon Avalon A15 there, the efficiency of these guys are above 15 watt per hash. So even at my electrical rate of 75 cents, I'm barely making it right now, where Bitcoin's price is right now at about 61,000 as of recording. So Bitcoin mining has been, again, really competitive. Hash rate has climbed 10x since 2021. The price of Bitcoin has not climbed 10x since 2021, hence why these types of miners at sub 15 watt per hash at my 75 cents electrical, right, which is, I think, better than most, is barely breaking even. And so yeah, it's rough, right? Right now Bitcoin mining is rough overall, but all the S19 series miners are turning off. I mean, if you look at the Bitcoin network hash rate right now, it's going down, right? A lot of inefficient miners have to turn off because it doesn't make any sense, pun intended, you know, based on their electrical costs. The S19s are just inefficient now. There are a lot more efficient miners out there, even like the infamous S21 XP, you know, sub 14 watt per hash. that thing is still okay, but even then, you know, depending on your electrical cost, like 7-8 cents, the S21 XP is also kind of nearing that you know, break even. And oh, my Avalon A15 decided to go red. Oh, now it's green. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Anyways, I could expend a lot more on all these things, but majority of the miners you guys see on the floor here are not making anything at this current time due to the market conditions, and it doesn't make any sense for me to have these on because they're just not making money. And so that's why, hence why I've been pivoting into the whole AI realm, because that seems to be the money maker right now, but time will tell. I still obviously believe in like hardware arbitrage, so if you can buy miners when they're cheaper, I'm not saying older inefficient stuff, depending on unless you have free power or something, or solar power, but you know, a lot of these miners here, they once used to be heavy hitter miners, and it's unfortunate, like as the market conditions are right now, a lot of these miners are just not profitable, and it just doesn't make sense to mine, because you might as well just buy the coin, because you'll get more of the coin if you just buy it versus mining it and paying your, you know, hydro bill, your electricity bill, more money versus what you could buy with that money. So yeah, it's just getting real rough, right? That's the reality right now, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Right, I'm not gonna like say to you guys like, oh, everything's all honky-dory, everything's all profitable right now. No, I'm gonna say it like it is. I want to be, you know, transparent, honest with you guys. Am I still bullish on crypto mining? Of course, I'm Red Panda mining. I have to, but it does come to a point where right now the prices of, you know, these coins and how much hardware and how competitive stuff has been, unfortunately, there's just been too many miners that have come in the space. There's been too many bigger entities that have come in and, you know, gain control because they have cheaper power, right? The home miners are being phased out, and that's been the name of the game for a very long time, and I feel like home mining will ultimately end for most people, unfortunately, hence why I would probably invest or diversify into other money-making ways at this point in time, especially during this time. But I totally forgot. I have a Antminer Z9 Mini here. So this thing is, I don't think it's that profitable anymore because Z15 Pros just came out. But I mean, if anyone that invested in the like other models, like the A9s or Z15s or Z15 Pros, when they were like $2,500 at one point, or $1,000, and you could have sold them for like 5, 8, 10 grand. Yeah, like there you go. Hardware arbitrage. You could have made out like a bandit, especially because Zcash went up in price, right? Price appreciated. But hindsight 2020, right? You just never know. Any of these coins that I talked about today, Ethereum Classic, Kaspa, Dash, God forbid, Initverse, you know, Zcash, Bitcoin, you know, there's been times a few of these coins have price appreciated and have been successful, right? For people that have held on to miners, like I held on to my Z15 Pro, and thankfully Zcash pumped, and I sold my Z15 Pro for 10 grand, right? So it's things like that where those types of plays, those types of like arbitrage plays. So you buy hardware when it's cheaper, and then you wait till the coin pumps. Yeah, like you don't not necessarily have to run these miners. You just hold on to the miners in hopes that price will appreciate. But I mean, you got to buy miners that will stand the test of time. If you know, hash rate will climb depending on if there's going to be new hardware. So it's a really, like, I honestly think my E11, I shouldn't get rid of it, but my Bombax miners, I do think Ethereum Classic will bounce back one day, and but the same thing could be said for any of these miners that I have here. Maybe even Alephium is going to have some massive pump, and this IceRiver AL3 is going to make 30, 50 bucks a day again. Could you imagine if Alephium just had some massive pump? Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Anyways, guys, don't forget to comment down below. I'm just blobbing at this point. Don't forget to comment down below for this INI box. Just give me your guys' story down below. Which miners have you guys made money on, broke even, lost money on, whatever? Just let me know down below. I would love to know your guys' story. Give me a time frame, give me a date, give me the miner that you guys bought, how much it cost, all that stuff. I'd like to gain more stories from all of you and experience, right? Time frame really does matter, and like patience, everyone's time horizon. I think the longer you hold on to stuff, that's when I've seen a lot of people that have made money. If you've been able to, like, you know, kind of be lazy and, you know, not sell the miner, and all of a sudden the, you know, the coin goes up. Yeah, some people have made good money just by holding hardware, right? And holding the coins as well. All right, anyways, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget, comment down below. I'll choose the winner after about 2 days after this video is uploaded for the INI box. All right, I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one. Peace out. Peace out. Time to work on my servers. Let's do it. Still storing your crypto on exchanges? That's risky. This is the Red Panda Tandem card. Simple, secure, and built for real self-custody. No seed phrases, no complicated setups. Just tap your card, manage your crypto, and you're in control instantly. Secure chip technology keeps your assets protected, even offline. I've tested a lot of hardware wallets, and this is by far one of the easiest ways to get started. If you want true ownership of your crypto, check out the Red Panda Tandem card below. Simple, secure, self-custody. Use code RPM for another 10% off. Link in the video description below.